Hey guys, every great leader or entrepreneur will tell you that the keys to their success always included this element of being willing to try again over and over and over again until the one idea sticks. A fail forward mentality, if you would. And as I am gearing to try something new again, I'm being reminded of just how much easier said than done it can be to fail forward willingly, but I'm working through it. And as promised, I'm taking you along for the ride with me in today's episode. Have you ever felt knocked down, faced with a little dirt on it, and you know in that moment that you have to make a choice? You have to make a choice to either get back up again or to just stay down. I think sometimes it may seem easier to just stay down, but that in all essence would be the same as just giving up. There is a difference between giving up versus choosing to do something differently. It's also a choice to keep trying over and over and over again. And in the context of chasing after our big dreams or entrepreneurship, or really for anyone chasing after whatever success may look like for you, there are naturally going to be those moments along the way that don't go as planned, that you get pushed into the dirt, or that make you feel like you've failed in some or all the ways. As a stereotypical high achiever, if I'm not really good at something right away, then I'm at least going to be the hardest worker in the room to try and excel as best as I can, as fast as I can. I absolutely do live for the sweet smell of victory as an overachiever. And I know I'm not the only one. It's very typical. It's it's how I'm programmed, and there are pieces about that that I'm proud of. And while sure, like the accolades or the titles or the, I guess you could say, like the notches in the belt, they're nice, but that's not what's at the core of this type of DNA programming. I want to share a story with you guys. I'm having flashbacks as to a time where I wanted to make the varsity cheerleading team so badly, and having that desire held so deeply in my heart and mind that I was committed to doing whatever it took to be able to throw this back handspring skill that was required to be on the team. But you see, I had zero, and I'm talking like zero, zilch, none tumbling or gymnastics experience. And again, we all have our strengths here. My overall like hand-eye coordination, that's really not, again, I said we all have our strengths. But I say I was going to try as hard as I could at whatever I was doing, because I do have that innate like competitive spirit that always seems to be able to carry me through. So I remember that tryouts for the team, they were coming around, and every time I threw this back handspring, I'm literally flopping my body backwards and over the top of itself, just praying that I don't snap my neck or a limb. But I kept attempting the skill over and over and over again. And one afternoon, I attempted this skill so many times in the backyard in the dirt that my hands actually literally started to bleed. Now, I am not condoning bodily injury for the sake of a cause. However, I just recognized the insane amount of perseverance that it took to keep throwing one after another. Fall to my knees, get back up. Twist the ankle, get back up. Eat some dirt on the way up, cool. Get back up, go again. And I actually wrote about this moment being a core memory in the upcoming book, my chapter in the anthology Joyful Entrepreneur. So definitely check it out, just as an example of this perseverance programming that will all just keep going and trying over and over and over again, even if bodily injury is at stake. Like, how much I know, at least for me, I had to recognize that that type of perseverance is not actually always the best thing, which in full irony is actually not at all what I am messaging in this episode. But This is life. And this just comes down to there is indeed like a time and a place for everything. And sometimes life requires that we persevere, and other times life requires that we quit the things that are not of the greatest benefit anymore. And I kind of went through my quitting season, I would say about a year ago, and now I'm back into my persevering season. So over the last 2 years, I've just, if you've been following along the journey, thank you. But the things, for instance, like I quit in that quitting season, they were things like I had to quit putting everybody else's needs and dreams before my own so that I could actually create space for my own transformation. I had to quit the worldly pursuit of identities and like worldly identities and this hustle and grind to complete exhaustion living. Like I had to quit that in order to create more lasting fulfillment. I had to quit chasing what everyone else said success looked like and what everyone else's standards or value was in things like titles or salaries or number of followers so that I could actually enjoy life on my own terms. And I had to quit suppressing the parts of me that I thought I was too much or where I was dimming my light for others' comfort just so that I could walk and actually start to live out my life in full alignment with my deeper purpose. And who knows, maybe this transition into perseverance season is a little extra tough because of the massive life changes that came out of my quitting season. But I'm here now and in these shoes, and my life is requiring a tap back into that perseverance programming. So I'm grateful. I know I've got it, and now it's just about like harnessing that energy. My husband, he shared a story with me the other day, and he didn't have the specifics on who this gentleman was that I said this, but it was the story where this guy who he had just sold his company for multi millions of dollars, and he was being interviewed. And the interviewer, of course, asks, how did you do it? And with a sense of humor, this guy says, oh, it was easy. And the reporter's face kind of goes into like a complete shock. And the guy says, no, I'm absolutely just kidding. It was hard. It was hard as heck. I worked for years on this thing and I was turned down. And finally, on the ninth time around, we were able to sell. And the interviewer proceeds to ask, like, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs? And the guy responds back so boldly without missing a beat. And he's like, if you're not willing to fail the other 8 times, then don't even start. And I thought about how much a consistent truth that statement has among most great leaders and entrepreneurs. And it's this idea that if you're not willing to fail over and over and over again, just in the attempt that you get one time that everything then becomes worth it, then don't even start. Like, don't waste the time, don't waste the money, don't waste the energy, don't waste the support of your friends and your family, the heartache, the twisted ankle, the dirt in your face. But if I'm willing, and if you're willing to keep trying, if we're willing to fail forward and we're willing to keep being the hardest workers in the room to excel and to be the best that we can be as fast as we can be, then the sweet victory is out there waiting for us. It's not failure to keep showing up. That's called grit. It's not failure to try again with a small tweak. That's called strategy. It's not failure to be the least experienced person in the room. That's called learning. It's not failure to know how it's all going to work out. That's called faith. And it's not failure to do it over and over and over again until it works. That's called greatness. And it's inside all of us. So I guess today our unjuggle summary is, and like I said, this is as much of a pep talk for myself as any, guys. um, do what all the greats say to do. Keep trying, keep showing up, and do so as many times as we have to until we get the results we desire. Don't give up. All right. Until next time, guys. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. It means a world to me that you're here to ride in the struggle bus with me and that you're willing to consider different perspectives, tools, and techniques that just might provide a little bit of relief and get you one step closer to the abundance that is available and waiting for us all. I hope you take a moment to grant yourself some grace where you've been denying it, some love where you didn't realize maybe it was right in front of you, and some faith where you thought all was lost. If this episode had an impact on you, would you please share a comment with a review? I'd love to hear what landed for you, and it helps us get the word out to our fellow struggle bus riders. So please review what was impactful for you. Just know these episodes are a pure labor of love in a space where I'm growing alongside you. I'm evolving every day, and I look forward to all the ways and the things and the perspectives and opinions and choices that will change over the course of time in my own life, day to day. Until next time, just know that you are loved, you are divinely cared for, and in the struggle, the journey of this life really is beautiful. I'm glad that we're in it together. Cheers.